pack.
What's happening, my friends? It's Cat Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT, Mike Mazik, Al Booger. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cat Sports, the Box Story. Today, boxing in the States, Illinois. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Story, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everyone? Thursday afternoon, post up on another weekend so we can get back to some boxing. And the Boxing in the State series continues today. It's Thursday. And today, Illinois. And it's going to be a good one because Chicago had a big boxing history. You know that long count fight I always talk about between Jack Dempsey and Gene Tunney? where Jack Dempsey wouldn't go to the neutral corner and James Honey got extra time to recuperate. That was in Chicago. Chicago Stadium, the old Chicago Stadium. Yeah, that was a big boxing venue back in the day. Mafia was had their hands in it a little. We're gonna talk about that during the history. Yep. And got a whole. I got like 25 fighters. It's going to be good. We're up to one of those good states, Illinois. You know, like last week we had Idaho. Was a little short one, but this is going to be a good one. Salute Aunt McQueen in the building. What's up, Aunt? Boxing in the States today. And then to close out this week of boxing history, you know, we always close it out with the profile on Friday. Tomorrow is the life and career of Hector Macho Camacho. Yep. Hector had a Hall of Fame career. Fire resume. Beat Sugar Ray Leonard, remember? But Sugar Ray was at the end of his career. Sugar Ray was watching Hector. Sugar Ray was commentating a fight where Hector was fighting Roberto Duran. And that's what made Sugar Ray think that he could beat Hector. So Sugar Ray came out of retirement and bad move, Sugar Ray. Hector stopped him. But yeah, Hector tomorrow. What's up, Joe? Well, D1 from the Angry White Men podcast, hashtag JBT in the building. What's up, D1? Him and William Old School of Rant. William Old School of Rant just lost his sister. So if you are a praying person, keep William Old School and his family in your prayers. And if you're not a praying person, just keep them in your thoughts. Okay? The JBT's own William Old School just lost his sister. So yeah, keep him in your thoughts, in your prayers if you are a praying person. But we got the other half of the Angry White Men podcast in here, D1. That's tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Also got one half of the casuals in here, Aunt McQueen. That's tomorrow at 10 a.m. You know, I told you about that Friday in the JBT. We're trying to get every day like that, but Friday is a huge day. You know, we got these airways covered for most of the day, you know, from 8 o'clock in the morning and the hangout all the way up to 10 p.m. Close it out with the Angry White Men podcast at 10 p.m. So, yeah, what a day. And today on Cast Sports will be boxing in the States, Illinois. And what's up, Joe? Joe in the building. Salute. Always good to see Joe in here. He's going to be dropping gems in the chat throughout the show. What's going on this weekend? Let me see. I got it pulled up and ready here. We got what is that word? August 31st. Naucalpan, Mexico. Naucalpan, Mexico. Okay. Anyway, Oliver Quintana, Julio Luna Avila from Naucalpan, Mexico, headlining the card down there. That's new. I didn't see that on the schedule just yesterday. But this is I'm putting it in there. Naucalpan. Excuse me for a minute. There it is. I know I said it wrong, but that's where the card is coming. One of the cards coming from Saturday, and they are welterweights. Who else is on the card? Joe Cordova, Ernesto Saucedo, bantamweights. That's what we got coming up this weekend. I thought we had another card too. Yeah, from Carson, California. That's what I was thinking about. Diego Pacheco back in action, right? Middleweight. Promising young middleweight fighter. Javon Clark on the card. So we got a couple of cards this weekend. And you know what happens Tuesday, September 3rd? Everybody already know about that one. The Monster. D.A. Monster. The Monster. Okay? Got to get up in the morning for that one. You know how Monster does coming out of Tokyo. But I always get up to watch the Monster. Exciting fighter. One of my top 2 pound, one of everybody's top 2 pound for pound. I got Bud 1, Monster 2, but if you want to put Monster 1 and Bud 2, I ain't mad at you, not at all, okay? Because Monster belongs right there with Bud, He's only one of 5 people to be 2 divisions undisputed in the 4-belt era, the Monster, Bud, the GOAT, Katie Taylor, and Usyk. Yep. And he's going up against TJ Doheny, 12 rounds, for the Monster's undisputed junior featherweight championship, 122. Yeah, the Monster. And this is a pretty good card, too. Yoshiki Takei versus Diego Higa. They are bantamweights. Ismael Barroso, big hat on the card, going up against Andy Hiriaka. Yeah. Talking to Ant the other day on here, he was saying that Hiriaka is a dangerous puncher, so that can be good. We know how Barroso punches. He got that old man power, and Andy's got a pretty good knockout rate. I think it's like 18 knockouts in 23 fights, something like that. Yeah, so that could be good, And all them guys at 140 just waiting for Big Hat to lose so they don't have to fight him, so they can stop ducking Big Hat. But yeah, that's cool. I know Big Watch / Big Hat, both of them, Barroso. But yeah, 18 in 23 fights. That's I'm fascinated by knockout rate. That's 78, almost 80, about 80%. So that's not bad. Let me see if I did that right. 18 knockouts in 23 wins. Yeah, that's almost 80%. 78. Might as well say 80. So that ain't bad. So that's who Big Watch is fighting on this card Tuesday. Yep, looking forward to that. I was all set up this Tuesday morning, waiting for it. Then I looked. It didn't come on. I looked at, September 3rd. Yeah, I was all set up Tuesday morning, waiting for it, man. But we just had to wait another week, that's all. But we're in good shape. The Canelo card is coming up. Got one next weekend, too. Lonnie Daniels, and this is for the women's light heavyweight title. Olatito Olawale. And then John Parker back in action on that card. So we're in good shape. Then we got the big Canelo card coming up. Now, we might not like the Canelo fight too much. I know I don't, but it's not a bad card. Okay, we got Heather E. What's up, Heather E. in the building? Good to see Heather E. And I think this might be the first time Heather E. been to Cast Sports. I know she was going to make it. Salute Heather E., one of the JBT queens. And then we got Unc Dre Finest in the building. What's up, Unc Dre Finest? How are you today? Good to see you. Heather E. and Unc Dre Finest in the building. And I gotta give Heather E. her wrench, That's a hardcore. Hangout regular, automatic wrench when they come in here. So Heather E. That moderator on Cast Sports. Okay. Unc Dre Finest been a moderator. Unc Dre Finest was the moderator when I used to come on 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. Unc Dre, Ant used to be in there. Thomas Hill, yeah. They are the really day one. And when I got over here too, Mike Mazik was in here on my first show at 2 before I was in here. Yep, Mike is a day one. But we're gonna get started about 2:30 with the show, about 10 minutes. Boxing in the States, okay? Illinois today, and it's gonna be pretty good because Chicago has a good boxing history. But we was talking about the Canelo card. Now the Canelo Berlanga might shock the world and do go back to his first round knockout on Canelo. I doubt it, but wouldn't there be something if he got Canelo out of there in the first round? But it's not a bad card at all. Though. Fight they've been trying to make for like 3 years or something. Danny Garcia and Erislandy Lara. That's for the Lara super middleweight title. Oh, Lara doesn't have a title. I thought Lara had middleweight. WBA super middleweight title. No, I think that's wrong. But anyway, it's Danny Garcia and Erislandy Lara. Lara has the title, WBA. And then Caleb Plant on the card against Trevor McCombie. That could be a good fight. McCombie ain't bad. And then Cool Boy is back in action. There's been a Cool Boy sighting. Yeah, he's on that Canelo card. His first action in like what? About a year and 2 months, about 14 months. Because remember, he fought the Monster in July 26, 2023. I remember the date. And Earl and Bud was July 29th, 2023. That was quite a week, remember. We was looking forward to both those fights, like two big competitive fights between four of the big names in the sport. And then we got two one-sided beatdowns. And nobody better not say they predicted both of those two one-sided beatdowns. They telling a story. I want to say they're telling a lie, but they telling a story. Nobody predicted two one-sided beatdowns in both of those fights. Nobody. But that's what we got. Monster beat Cool Boy down that Tuesday morning over there in Japan. And then we was like, well, we got Bud and Earl Saturday. We're going to get a good fight. A classic Saturday. Nope, one-sided beatdown. Earl went down in the second round. First of 3 times. Wasn't it 3? Or was it 4? I think it was 3. First of 3 times he went down, yeah. Bud put it on him, man. Earl haven't been in the ring since. I'm hearing that the Earl and Fundora fight is not happening now. Is that true? Damn. Let's Talk Fashion in the building. What's up, Let's Talk Fashion? What city is that, Heather E? You say your city? Florida? Oh, Chicago. Damn, I'm so crazy. I just said Boston in the States, Illinois. And Heather E said, I'm talking about yourself. I'm talking about what city? Chicago. Come on, Cass. Wake up. And there's Let's Talk Fashion in the building. That's Remo, our fashion show. That thing is clicking on all cylinders, man. Like I was saying, I know Remo know it's good. I don't even think Remo know how good that show is, man. I really don't, man. He got something there, man. That Let's Talk Fashion. It was on fire yesterday. I just sit back and enjoyed that. He gonna try to tell us, oh, I had to do that from scratch by air, man. That was, he know he had all that planned. It was too fire, man. He had it planned. It was a great episode. Anybody haven't seen it, do the replay thing. But anyway, the next one is 10 a.m. Wednesday. And you know that they make us wait a whole week for it, but it's just a fire podcast, man. Let's Talk Fashion. And then that Fashion or Clashing segment is just, that's one of the best segments of anything on YouTube. And when the eyes get over there on it, it's going to be like 100, 200 people in there. Yeah. And guess what? It's part of the JBT, the Just Boxing Talk Network. Okay? And we're going to get started on the subject of today's show in about 5 minutes. I always wait till 2:30, you know. This Lonnie Lee gets off at 2:30, and, you know, I don't want him to miss too much of the show because he's here every day, loyal supporter, always dropping super chats. You know, some jobs don't play you sitting up there with that earpiece in your ear listening to the YouTube when you're supposed to be working. So, you know, some people have to wait till they get off, but he'll be here. Al Booker is in here. What's up, AB? Good to see you today. And the Casuals back tomorrow. Yeah, I said the Casuals before you came in here when I saw it. But yeah, the Casuals are back tomorrow. The Hardcore Casuals are the 2 casual hardcores. Yep. That's another fire one, man. I was telling you about Friday in the JBT. Friday is just, say Hardcore starts it off. That's the standard at 8 a.m. that we all have to follow. And then Fridays at 10 a.m. It's 10, right, Remo? The Casual. Remo and Ant McQueen. Everybody know about Ant McQueen in that boxing talk. I don't have to even say nothing about that. Remo and Ant McQueen. I wouldn't debate Ant McQueen about boxing. I know that. He'd be sitting there babbling. But that's the casuals. We on at McQueen 10 a.m. Friday mornings. And then Nate's, who's Nate's? Oh, Cat Sports at 2 o'clock, right? And then Just Do Boxing at 4 o'clock. And then Jay Hardcore spins the block and comes back for the Friday night hangout at 8 o'clock. And man, you know, anything can happen in there, man. I ain't even gonna say what happened a few weeks ago. Y'all seen it. And when I say anything, I mean anything, man. Guy came in there showing the family jewels. Damn. But anyway, Jay Hardcore is back in the hangout at 8 o'clock. And then bring your BYOW, bring your own whatever. And then I ain't finished. 9 o'clock, the Mighty Rides podcast comes on. And you might see both of Tank Davis's coaches in there, Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis. Not being interviewed, they up there chopped it up with people in the chat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we close off Friday with the Angry White Men, D1 and William Old School and Rant. Probably won't see Old School this week because, like I was saying earlier, he lost his sister. But D1 is going to be in there and be angry, so we ain't got to worry about it. D1 will be angry. Okay, and he's going to be in there Friday night for the Angry White Men podcast. Fire. Man, when that Angry White Men podcast took off, they took like a rocket going into outer space, man. They wasn't playing. And still going strong. And that's Friday. And normally, Monday through Thursday, we slide BBO Boxing TV in there at 8 o'clock. I was over there last night. He had a good show last night. He had this female boxer, I forgot her name. Wow. She can go, man. You know, she can talk. It's like a motor running, man. No disrespect, but woo-wee. You remember that movie, Medea, and her grandson's girlfriend? She worked at the McDonald's, and this lady, she could go like her as far as talking, man. It was like crazy. But she's a female boxer, and it was a very good episode, right? BBO Boxing TV, Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Okay? Yeah. And Unc Dre says, power to the people. Everything is going good, Unc Dre. Hope everything is going good with you and your family out there in D.C. Unc Dre finest. Always good to see that brother in here, man. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get ready to get started with boxing in Chicago. No, not Chicago, Illinois. But Chicago is going to be a big part of it because Chicago has a huge boxing history. University of Illinois, the Fighting Illini, has a nice fire boxing club. Jessica McCaskill, is from Chicago. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're going to cover her when we get to the portion about the boxers from Chicago. We always ended up with that. We got a boxing history of Chicago, and then we have some other significant events that happened in the state, such as good boxing. Well, we got the Windy City Boxing Club, historic boxing club out there in Chicago, was started by a former boxer. And then this other boxer, his father purchased it, and now he runs it. He was the fighter. It's in my notes, but remember the fighter that Roy Jones got disqualified against when he hit him while he was down? Yeah, he runs the Windy City Boxing Club now. And then they had the rematch, and Roy knocked him out in the first round, but yeah. Okay, I'm trying to find this. What's today? Thursday? I got Wednesday's notes up here. Montel Griffin, that's his name. His father, Clarence Griffin, purchased it from the boxer Johnny Colin, former bantamweight champion. And then Clarence Griffin passed away, and Montel, after his boxing career, he decided to go back and run the gym. Yeah. You remember that in the 90s? 97, I think. Roy hit him while he was down and got disqualified. And then they had a rematch about 4 or 5 months later, and Roy got him out of there in the first round. Yeah, Montel Griffin runs at Windy City Boxing Gym. That's a historic gym out there in the Windy City Boxing Gym in the Windy City. Yeah. So we got a pretty good show for you today. Let's get ready to get started because I'm running out of stuff to kill time. Lonnie Lee will be here in a few minutes. But I appreciate everybody rocking with me today on Cash Sports, The Box Story. But first, don't forget our raffle. Melanie Queen will be in here. I almost had the commercial in there today, Remo, but tomorrow, I'm going to have it. Jay told me what I was doing wrong. So, but I called Jay about 1:30, and we was getting close to the show. And I didn't get time to get it, but it's going to be in. But anyway, yeah, we wrapping off. We got 3 first. It's not first, second, or third. It's 3 first place prizes. It's going to be 3 winners this time. We got the Apple 10th generation iPad. Then second place is a pair of Kenichi Bear headphones. Kenichi Bear is a proud sponsor of the JBT, and those headphones are fire. I want them, but I can't get in because, I'm the treasurer. I'm collecting the money, and then I'm probably going to be the one actually drawing the names out, right, on October 12th. So it wouldn't be right if I would look in there and say, and the winner is of the first place Apple 10th generation iPad, Cash Sports. And then the winner of second place, the Kenichi Bear headphones, Cash Sports. And then the winner of the third place prize, the air fryer, Cash Sports. That wouldn't look good, but it could happen, because I would get the 3 tickets for 25, and all 3 of those could possibly come out. So it wouldn't have to necessarily be cheating, but it probably would be. My name probably would be the only name in there, but so I'm not getting it. But yeah, 3 prizes: Apple 10th generation iPad, pair of Kenichi Bear headphones, and an air fryer. And just send $10 to $ JBT Network, all capital letters. I'm gonna have a commercial in tomorrow, but I can talk about it. Where's Heather? Not Heather E. I'm talking about the other queen of the JBT. Heather E is one of the queens, Miss Cass. And I'm talking about Melanie Queen 27 would have everything in there. She always bails me out when I get to stumbling and don't know what the prizes is and stuff, but she's not here yet. But that's where you send your money to, right there. I heard you, Remo. Remo said you put the damn commercial in, you wouldn't have to be messing up like that. I heard you, Remo. I read your mind. I know that's what you was thinking. There it is. $ JBT Network, all capital letters, and put the number 1 behind it. $10 for 1 chance. $25 gets you 3 chances. Y'all better get in. Michael Garner got like 20 chances, man. I'm serious. He got like 20 chances. So I'd be surprised if he don't get one of those prizes. God damn. Yeah, he's trying to win it. Okay, so let's get ready to go with today's show. Damn, it's 3:32, and I've been on here 10 minutes. Okay, let's go with today's show. The Boxing in the State series continues today with Illinois. Every Thursday we do a state, right? And man, I took my thumbnail off, had to put the other one in, and I didn't get it right. And Remo, you got to give me a pass on these displays today because I was kind of rushing. Man. Some of them is kind of, blurry. Some of these guys are way from back in the day, and I found some of the pictures kind of blurry. I just probably shouldn't have used them at all, but a blurry one is better than none. But I think I'd have had a pretty decent week. I'm gonna find out Sunday my grade. I'm gonna find out my grade Sunday. Because Remo watching like a hawk. But salute Remo. Remo is in charge of how we look in the JBT and everything, our presentation out, if we got pictures and all that kind of stuff. He grades us on it and let us know if it ain't right. And he know what he doing, man. Yeah. So I think I got a little bit better this week, but I can't wait till Sunday so I can get my A+ on my displays. Yep. Boxing in the States, Illinois. Anybody else come in? Let's see. Oh, Cannabis Education and Entertainment TV. I seen that, but I wasn't paying attention. Salute. And there's nobody I can think of better to educate you on cannabis than that guy right there. That's Bruce Gas. Bruce sitting up there on his show and have that big bong smoking like a chimney, man. Bruce disappears behind a cloud of smoke. Cannabis Education Entertainment TV. I think Miss Cass out there right now behind a cloud of smoke. Sorry, Miss Cass, I didn't mean to put you out there. I'm the goody two shoes. I don't do nothing. I drink a Kool every now and then, like every day. Nah, let me get started with the show. Okay. Yeah, that's Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT in the building. I'm still writing Cannabis Education and Entertainment TV. I couldn't write everybody yesterday because I had a lot of people yesterday. Jay Hardcore sent some people over from him and Mikey Pound show. I only got one subscriber out today. That was D Free from the winning team, TWT Network. But salute Cannabis Education and Entertainment TV. And Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, T Hill? We're going to drop the link at the end and probably get Thomas Hill up here. Help close the show out. Last half hour or so. But here we go. Boxing in the States, Chicago, Illinois. I keep saying Chicago because Chicago is going to be a huge part of it. Okay? Thomas Hill says right there, a legend with the smoke. Okay. Let me get on up here to my, did you call him, Remo? I call him slide this place. I can't even think of that word. It's gonna come to me. Okay, now, also, it was a popular sport at the national level. Professional boxing was not legal in Illinois at the beginning of the 20th century. Yep, it had got banned. Now, as a sport, it was associated with drinking, gambling, and roughhousing among undesirables. Yep. They used to call me that when I was young, undesirable. But I was doing just that kind of stuff, drinking, gambling, and roughhousing. Now, in 1917, an attempt to legalize boxing in Illinois fell just one vote short of being passed in the Senate. Just one vote short. Okay? Now, attempts at enacting a boxing law over the next 8 years all failed. They kept having votes, but they could never get it passed in their legislature. Let's see. Yeah. But another attempt at legalizing boxing in Illinois occurred in 1925, and this time it was successful, making Illinois the 23rd state in the country to permit the sport, right? At that time, Illinois was the 23rd state to allow professional boxing. Finally passed it in 1925. Okay? So, it also made Chicago a boxing capital of the United States, right? Made Chicago a boxing capital of the country. I told you Chicago got a deep boxing history. Now, among the people who supported the bill was Representative Rena Elrod of Chicago, right? And her first speech in the House was in support of the bill. She came in trying to help get the bill passed. And she was the only female in the legislature who voted for the bill. And she became a folk hero among boxing enthusiasts in Chicago, right? Now, the bill to legalize boxing in Illinois had a lengthy name, right? This is the name. It was called An Act in Relation to Athletic Exhibitions, creating a commission prescribing its powers and duties, providing penalties for violations of the provisions thereof, and repealing sections of an act herein named. That was the name of it. I forgot what I said already, but that was the name of the bill. But all the people in Chicago cared about was it past boxing. Boxing was again legal out there. Yep. Now, although the bill allowed boxing in Illinois, it also required a municipality to pass a referendum before fights could be held within their boundaries. So each municipality had to pass another referendum before they could have these fights, right? Each little separate municipality. Now, the bill also allowed for boxing matches of up to 10 rounds and prohibited the sport on Sundays. Okay, couldn't box on Sundays. And let me get my glasses. There they go right there. Oh, that's much better. Should have been had them on. Now, additionally, it created a state boxing commission to regulate the sport. And see, that's the problem. Almost every state got their own boxing commission, man. And they need some kind of commission over the states to regulate them, because state to state, the rules change, man. And that's boxing is the only sport like that. Like, say, the NFL. Like, you go to New England to play the Patriots, or you come to Baltimore and play the Ravens. Go to California, play the Rams. Ain't the Rams back in California? But either way, whatever state you go to play football in the NFL, all the rules are the same. Or whatever country you play the sport in. But boxing is not like that. So they need some kind of commission to regulate these state commissions, okay? But anyway, and once they passed it, the law also required all boxers to pass a physical examination within 2 hours of a state supervised fight. Wow, within 2 hours. So if the fight at 8, you got to pass a physical between 6 and 8. Wow, that's serious. And it also exempted schools and colleges from license and regulatory provision. So it still didn't allow boxing on college campuses and schools and stuff. Now, in 1927, 2 years after legalizing boxing in Illinois, Chicago hosted the heavyweight championship between Jack Dempsey and Gene Tunney at Soldier Field, right? Now, they had more than 100,000 boxing fans in attendance, right? And millions or more listened on the radio. I'll get ready to say TV. TV wasn't around yet. Had millions more listening on the radio, right? And that was the fight that became known as the Long Count fight. And also the fight was the first $2 million gate promoted by old Tex Rickard, right? He was the Godfather before the Godfather and Don King. Tex Rickard was doing his thing. So that was the first $2 million gate. And that Long Count fight I always talk about, that's where it was at, Chicago, Illinois. Okay? Soldier Field. Did I say Soldier Field? Yeah, Soldier Field. Okay? Now, throughout much of the 19th century, boxing was part of Chicago's bachelor subculture. This is when it was, before it was legalized. It was legalized, then it got banned, and fights, small bets were made on fights, and the fights were held in the back rooms of saloons. Okay, this is around the time where it was banned. Now, the first notable professional box prize fight in Chicago was held in 1885 between bare knuckles champion John L. Sullivan and Jack Burke. Right, this was at the Driving Park Racetrack. And John L. Sullivan was the last bare knuckles champion before they outlawed that. And when they first legalized, started glove boxing back in I think it was 1887, he was also the first glove champion. So the same man was the last bare knuckles champion, and he was also the first glove champion, John L. Sullivan. And there's Melanie Queen 27. Right there. What's up, Melanie Queen 27? And good afternoon. She's gonna have that our prizes and everything in there soon. Mike Rim in the building. What's up, Mike? Salute. Boxing in the States. Today is Thursday. Illinois. And Melanin Queen 27 is in the building. The JBT secretary, spokesperson, president. Melanin Queen wears a lot of hats for this organization, man. I tell you, he is outstanding. This is definitely a far better organization because she's a part of it, man. No doubt. Okay, appreciate her 1,000,000,000%. Okay. Yeah, but 1885 was the first notable fight, and that was bare knuckles. Okay, held at the Driving Park racetrack. Now, boxing flourished in the late 1890s. That was just before it got banned, right? At Tattersalls, a place called Tattersalls at 16th and Dearborn. Heather, you probably knows where that at, 16th and Dearborn, out there in Chicago. Now, a fight there between famed champion Bob Fitzsimmons. Now, Bob Fitzsimmons was the first man to win champions, I think, from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight. And then I think Roy Jones was the second. A fight there between Bob Fitzsimmons and Englishman Jim Thorne was the first prize fight in the city to attract an upper class clientele. Now, following a rigged fight between Terry McGowan and Joe Gans in December of 1900, prize fighting was banned in the city. Early in 1901, that fixed fight between Joe Gans and Terry McGovern had a lot to do with it getting banned. A whole lot was going on in boxing, fixed fights, gambling, and then that was just like the final nail in the coffin after they did that. It was obviously fixed. So early in 1901, it was banned, right? And that ban was upheld for more than a quarter century, okay? Because like I said, they made the vote in 1925, but they actually didn't, the ban actually wasn't lifted until the next year in 1926, okay? So when that ban in 1901 was almost just about a quarter century long. Now, amateur fights continued to be held in the city, but it was by such organizations as the Chicago Athletic Association, the CAA, and following agitation to end the ban, notably by the Chicago Tribune. I done got ahead of myself. You were talking about amateur boxing now. Okay, let me go back. Yeah, amateur boxing was still allowed during the ban. Okay, and it was an organization called the Chicago Athletic Association that sponsored the amateur boxing. Then, following agitation to end the ban, notably by the Chicago Tribune, boxing was legalized in 1926. Right, like I was just saying, they made the vote in 1925. They legalized it in 1926. Okay, yeah, there's our prizes right there. Glad you're here, Melanin Queen 27. Because I was struggling with. I'm headed commercial soon though. First place, Kaniki Bear headphones. Next person will win a pair of Kaniki Bear headphones. Third place is a Ninja air fryer. Winner will be announced October 12th on the day of when Dimitri Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev fight. Right? I might be the one doing the drawing. Don't get mad if my name comes out 3 times. Just to be a coincidence. But it could happen. But no, I'm not getting in it. But when we raffle off that car, I'm getting in that one. Somebody else gonna have to do the drawing. Okay? But yeah, boxing was legalized in 1926, right? And that's when the Illinois Boxing Commission was organized. Because after the ban, that's when they also organized the State Boxing Commission. Now, we talked about the long-held fight between Dempsey and Tunney in 1927, right? And that happened in Chicago at Soldier Field. And it was one of the first fights that occurred after the ban was lifted. Now, the Chicago Stadium opened in 1929, and it became an important boxing venue, hosting many major championship fights. In 1928, the Chicago Tribune inaugurated the Golden Gloves amateur competition. Yep, the Golden Gloves started right there in Chicago. There's Lonnie Lee. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT in the building. What's up, Lonnie Lee? Getting close to that weekend, man. Good to see you today. What time is it? Yeah. Salute, Lonnie. Boxing in the States, Illinois. Talking about Chicago. Chicago had a big, deep boxing history. Okay, let's continue. Now, where was it? Right here. Okay. Yeah. In 1928, the Chicago Tribune inaugurated the Golden Gloves amateur competition, right? And the sport thrived with boxers being trained and promoted by such private gyms as Cologne's 1154 East 63rd Street. That was founded in 1925 by one-time bantamweight champion Johnny Colon, right? And the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Chicago was important in the sports promotion, right? Becoming the biggest sponsor of youth boxing through the Catholic Youth Organization, okay? The Knights and the Catholic High School League. Can't read my own handwriting. Now, the Chicago Park District also nurtured and promoted boxing in the city. The Marigold Gardens on the north side of Chicago emerged in the 1930s. And that was the most significant venue for local professional boxing, right? Lightweight Barney Ross, you heard me talk about him. He became a hero on the west side, Jewish community in the 1930s. In the 1940s, middleweight Tony Zane from Gary, he also captured the city's fancy. In 1949, boxing promoter James Norris and Chicago Stadium owner Arthur Wirtz formed the International Boxing Club, which controlled pro boxing competition. That was part of that mafia. James Norris was mafia affiliated. Remember the International Boxing Club? I told you about that. Yeah, and the feds got them up out of there in the 60s. Yeah, they were broken up by the federal government as a monopoly in 1957. But James Norris kept his nose clean when they sent mobsters like Frankie Carbo or Bentley Palermo to prison. James Norris, he stayed out of trouble. He was mixed up in it. Yeah, the mob was running boxing around that time. They controlled who got championship fights, and he also had a control over who won them. But they couldn't get Sugar Ray Robinson. Nope. Now, during that time, the Chicago Stadium played host to many of the biggest fights in the country, not just Illinois, the country, featuring such boxers as Sugar Ray Robinson, Rocky Marciano, and Floyd Patterson. Okay, yeah, that one little stretch just now must have been late last night. I was scribbling like chicken scratch, but it got back better. In 1961, Arthur Wirtz ended boxing at Chicago Stadium. And thereafter, that's when Chicago started to decline as a boxing town. And since the early 1960s, boxing in the city has been basically a club sport with fight cards featuring local boxers, holding fights in hotels, and many promoted by former heavyweight champion Ernie Terrell. And he was a product of the west side of Chicago. And he was the one in the fight where when Muhammad Ali had changed his name from Muhammad Ali to Cassius Clay, all during the lead up to the fight. You know, the press conferences, the weigh-ins, Ernie Terrell would not call him Muhammad Ali. He insisted on calling him Cassius Clay. But in that fight, Ali beat him into calling him Muhammad Ali. By the end of that fight, he was calling him Muhammad Ali. Ali was putting combinations on it. What's my name? Cassius Clay. What's my name? Cassius Clay. What's my name? Muhammad Ali. He beat it into him. And he by the end of the fight, Ernie Terrell was calling him Muhammad Ali. Yep. Now, since the late 1970s, the Windy City Boxing Club has been a big part of Chicago boxing, right? Such fighters came out of there like Andrew Galata, Angel Manfredi. Then in 1994, the Golden Gloves opened the tournament to women. Okay. And Chicago was home to a vibrant Irish immigrant community. And many Irish American boxers emerged from this cultural melting pot. And these fighters gained fame not only for their skills, but also for their entertaining and tenacious fighting style. Yep. A lot of good Irish immigrant fighters came out of there too. Okay? Everybody hitting the appreciation button for me. Oh yeah, it's looking okay. My record is 43. Yep. But if I can get 30, I'll be happy. They took my monetization, but I ain't gonna start that. I'm sorry. Now, throughout its history, Chicago hosted numerous high stakes and dramatic boxing showdowns, drawing large crowds and media attention. Now, these fights contributed to the city's reputation as a prime boxing destination. Okay? And Chicago's love for boxing runs deep, and the city's passionate boxing fans have consistently supported their local fighters and embraced the sport's drama and excitement. Yeah, they got some huge boxing fans out there. That's where Hezzy E came from. Big Chicago boxing fan. And Chicago's boxing history is the tapestry of remarkable champions, iconic fights, and passionate fans that continues to celebrate the sport's legacy to this day. Okay? And Chicago's boxing gyms have been integral to the sports boxing culture. Okay? These training grounds have produced champions and continue to play a crucial role in honing the skills of aspiring Chicago fighters. And we're going to talk about the Chicago Golden Gloves because that's where the Golden Gloves originated at, in Chicago. Yep. Right there. The Golden Gloves. First, we only had Chicago and New York, and they used to compete against each other. It all started in Chicago. And it was started by the editor of the Chicago Tribune, but let's talk about it. Now, if you're talking about boxing history in Illinois, it's mandatory to talk about the Chicago Golden Gloves because, like I said, that's where the Golden Gloves originated, in Chicago. In 1923, 424 young men from Chicago's working class neighborhoods fought for respect and glory in a great boxing carnival, okay? Now, a century later, everything and nothing has changed. Today, the Chicago Golden Gloves continues to be one of the greatest traditions of sport. Chicago Golden Gloves, yeah. And the longest longest running non-international boxing tournament in America in 2023. The Chicago Golden Gloves is the original and only tournament celebrating 100 years, over 100 years, right? Now, born in 1896, Arch Ward, he was the Chicago Tribune's sports editor, right? And he was the architect and managing director of the tournament until his sudden death in 1955. And he started the Golden Glove, right? But his newspaper did. The newspaper sponsored it, and he was the one that was in charge of running it, Arch Ward. Okay? Now, like I was saying, sponsored and hosted by the Chicago Tribune. The event was originally meant to sell newspapers. Now, Ward chose Chicago's brand new world-class venues, including Soldier Field, which was built in 1924, and the Chicago Stadium, built in 1929, to host tens of thousands of fans for the finals, of the citywide tournament. And the iconic Chicago's New York City annual event and International Golden Gloves competitions. That went on every year. They had an annual competition between Chicago and New York. Okay. Give me just 1 minute. Like it's terrible, man. Now, normally it's not this bad. Okay. Now, Arch Ward was a promoter at heart. He built the tournament into a worldwide brand. And today, the title Chicago Golden Gloves champion remains the most revered and respected title in amateur boxing, other than Olympic champion. Okay, yeah, Chicago Golden Gloves champion. That's a pretty big honor. Now, whether you won in the 1950s or after the turn of the millennium, the title continues to bring pride and admiration to those few who've ever earned it. And this is just a few of the icons who won Chicago inner city titles in the Golden Gloves and went on to face the New York City team. Includes Joe Louis, won the Chicago Golden Gloves in 1934. Ezra Charles won it in 1939. Sonny Liston in 1953. Ernie Terrell, 1957. And Cassius Clay himself in 1959 and 1960. Same year he won the Olympics. And Emanuel Stewart, 1963. Yeah, he was an amateur boxer. Emanuel Stewart, the legendary trainer. Yeah, he won the Chicago Golden Gloves in 1963. Yep. And like I said, in 1994, the Chicago Golden Gloves became the first tournament in the country to host a women's division. Yep. Now let's talk about that Windy City boxing gym. I cannot believe it's 3 o'clock. We got a bunch of boxers from Chicago. Then we're going to get some link time. Okay. Appreciate everybody rocking with me today on this Thursday Boxing in the States. Okay, lights looking good. Let's continue. Okay, I haven't been paying attention to the chat. Anybody come in? Yeah, if we get done 25 likes, I will turn the camera on and stand on my head for 25 minutes. Okay? Weezy J Hardcore will hit the bag 25 times in the hangout tomorrow morning. Probably be the latter. Okay? Now, the Windy City Boxing Gym, one of the most famous boxing traditions in Illinois, is Chicago's Windy City Boxing Gym. Now, it was originally founded in 1925 at 1154 East 63rd Street by former world champion boxer Johnny Colan. The original name was Colan's Gym. Now, Clarence Griffin purchased the gym from Colan in 1973, and he renamed it the Windy City Boxing Gym. And Clarence Griffin was the father of former professional boxer Montel Griffin, right? And Montel's career lasted from 1993 to 2006. Oh, my handwriting got real good. I think I wrote this morning. Yeah, Montel's career lasted from 1993 to 2006. And Montel is known for his 2 fights in 1997 with Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr. Remember, Griffin won the first fight by disqualification after Jones hit him while he was down. Then 5 months later, Jones knocked Griffin out in the first round in the rematch. Okay? But anyway, at the time that the elder Griffin purchased the gym, Muhammad Ali was living in the area in nearby Hyde Park. And when he was in the town, he would train at the Windy City Gym, right? And Clarence Griffin and Muhammad Ali formed a close relationship. And the Griffin's family used to be invited to Ali's home and his training camp in Deer Lake, Pennsylvania, right? And after Montel Griffin's boxing career, he decided to take the reins at Windy City Boxing and bring boxing back to a state of prominence in Chicago. Yeah, my handwriting got way better. I can read it. But Montel, after his career, decided to bring Windy City Boxing back to a state of prominence in Chicago, similar to how it was in the 1920s and 1930s. And his experience as both a professional and amateur boxer allows him the opportunity to share his extensive knowledge with all ages. Windy City Boxing is Chicago's throwback boxing gym. You know, it has Olympic boxing alumni as owners, and it has a family heritage of boxing. The Windy City Boxing Gym. It's like a landmark of Chicago boxing. Yep. Okay. Now, right on time. Boxers from Chicago. We're going to talk about some of these boxers that came from Chicago. I got like 20 something of them. Okay. Boxers from Chicago. You know how you say it has to be Chicago. Is that how y'all say it out there? No. Okay. Boxers from Chicago. Now Chicago has a storied legacy in the world of boxing, producing numerous talented fighters who have left an indelible mark on the sport. Okay? Yeah. A lot of good boxers came out of Chicago. Now, over the years, the city has been a breeding ground for tough, skilled, and determined boxers, earning it a well-deserved reputation as a hotbed for boxing talent. Okay. Now, Remo, you got to give me a pass today. Some of these, I was rushing. When I did it. Give a brother a break. Sean Simpson. There's Sean Simpson. Now, as a standout amateur boxer, Sean Simpson made a smooth transition to the professional ranks. He was nicknamed the Equalizer. He's known for his lightning fast hand speed and elusive footwork. And he displayed exceptional technical abilities, which made him a formidable opponent in the flyweight division. And Simpson, he had a 5-year professional career from 2015 to 2020. And he finished his career with a record of 12 wins, no losses, 4 knockouts. Now, he only had 12 fights, but he didn't lose none of them. Okay? And he's from Chicago, Illinois. Sean's from Chicago. Okay? Man, we get to that 25 now. Let's get it. Next is Kat Skiller. Y'all know her. She's still fighting. Jessica McCaskill. She's one of the people that's been undisputed in the 4-belt era. And I think she took it from Cecilia Brækhus, one of the few who went all 4 belts at one time. Not many have done that. Only one man has done it, Jermaine Taylor. Took all 4 from B-Hop at one time. The rest of them got 1 here, 2 there, 3 there, But Jessica's one of the people. I think a couple women have done it. I know Savannah Marshall took all 4 French on at one time, but Jessica's one of the few that's won all 4 belts to become 4-belt undisputed. You become undisputed in the 4-belt era, winning all 4 belts at one time. Call her Kat Skiller. Hailing from the south side of Chicago, Jessica McCaskill has risen to become a world champion, in the sport. She made history when she defeated Cecilia Brækhus, becoming the undisputed welterweight champion, in a monumental upset. That was a big upset she had over Cecilia Brækhus. Cecilia was favored. Now, McCaskill's relentless work ethic and powerful punches have earned her a reputation as one of the toughest fighters in women's boxing today. Calling Kat Skiller. She lost her last fight now. It was just a few months ago in May, to Lauren Price. And her current record stands at 12 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 5 knockouts. Yeah, Lauren Price beat her in May. Yeah, but she's still currently an active fighter. Okay. Sean Simpson, and Cass Skiller. Next, we're gonna have some link time in about 3:30 too. I promise. Josh Hernandez. Here's Josh. Josh Hernandez. Now, still another active fighter. Josh is a rising star in the super bantamweight division. Okay. Now he's catching the attention of boxing enthusiasts with his impressive skills inside the ring. With a strong amateur background, Hernandez showcases a combination of speed and power, making him an exciting prospect to watch. He's from Chicago, currently 12-5, 9 knockouts. He lost his last fight, 6th-round knockout to Wesley Rivers in April. And I've just been ranting and raving about how good he is. He just got knocked out in April. Okay. But he's from Chicago. Josh Hernandez. Next is Simon Butner. Okay. Now, Simon is representing the Chicago suburbs. He's a talented middleweight, also from Chicago. With an aggressive and crowd-pleasing style, Butner has gained attention for his entertaining fights and ability to deliver thrilling performances, right? Record of 8-3, 4 knockouts. Now, he hasn't fought since 2022, but they say he's still active. But he also lost his last fight in 2022. He got knocked out by James Quilter. Okay? Now we get to some retired guys. King Levinsky. That's King Levinsky right there. Ray Patterson, straight out of New Jersey. What's up, RP? Boxing in the States today. Ooh, wow, I'm getting ready to go on the back. I haven't been on the back of the page in a while. So I should have about 30 likes. Let me check. 50, just kidding. 22. 8 more. Go outside and, pull somebody up and ask them, can you hold the phone for a minute? And, go to Cass Sports, hit the like. You need 8 more. But King Levinsky, I would do it for y'all. I would do it for Let's Talk Fashion. Yeah. King Levinsky, also known as King Fish Levinsky. He fought in the heavyweight division during the 1930s, right? He was born as Harris Krakow, and he was a member of the Krakow fish-selling family of Maxwell Street in Chicago's old Jewish ghetto. He's from Chicago, Illinois, and he had a career record of 74 wins, 35 losses, 7 draws, 40 knockouts. Had a total of 116 fights. Okay? Stay with me for a minute. I've been checking people off. Gotta check them off. I don't want to do nobody twice. Okay? Man, put on your game. Next is a big one from Chicago. One of Chicago's most well-named fighters. See if y'all recognize him. Give you a hint. He fought Muhammad Ali 3 times and got robbed. Muhammad Ali never beat him. Ken Norton. There he is. Yeah, from Chicago. Yeah. Ken was from Jacksonville, Illinois. Now, he moved out of there early. I think his career played out in San Diego, California. But yeah, he's from Chicago. Yeah. Ken Norton. Now, he had a 14-year professional career competing from 1967 to 1981, right? He was awarded the WBC World Heavyweight title in 1978 after winning a close split decision title eliminator over Jimmy Young, right? And after that, Leon Spinks refused to fight him. Leon wasn't no dummy. Leon said a rematch with Muhammad Ali or a fight with Ken Norton. Where would I get paid the most? Of course, there was a rematch with Ali, especially after Leon had just beat Ali. So that rematch was big. So I don't blame Leon. probably made doubled his money, might have tripled it fighting Ali instead of Norton. But he got stripped. But the WBA didn't strip him. He got stripped by the WBC. He's still a WBA champion. Now, Norton is best known for his 3 fights with Muhammad Ali, in which Norton won the first fight by split decision, lost the second by split decision, and lost the third by a controversial unanimous decision. In reality, he won all 3 of them. Okay, I've seen all 3 of them numerous times. Ali never beat Ken Norton. Now, Norton also fought a slugfest with Larry Holmes in 1978 during the first defense of his championship, narrowly losing a split decision, and his WBC title was gone. Okay, Norton retired from boxing in 1981, and he was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1992. Like I said, from Jacksonville, Illinois. Finished his career with a record of, had 50 total fights, won 42, lost 7, 1 draw, 33 knockouts. That's not too bad of a knockout rate. Let's see what it is. 78%. Right at 80%. So anytime you get up around 80%, that's not bad at all. Not bad, Ken. Although they cheated him twice. It's a wonder the only reason they gave him the first fight because he broke Ali's jaw. Billy Papke. Now that's pretty good there. Billy Papke. There's Billy. Okay, Melanie Queen. Yeah, I got it. I was having trouble getting it in. I'm going to have it in tomorrow. Oh, I still got to send you my email and stuff, too. I'll do that right after I get off here. But, yeah, I'm going to have it in tomorrow. I got it. I've been having trouble getting it in. I'm not, I don't know. I'm not too good at technology. And my 7-year-old granddaughter hasn't been over here yet to help me. So, yeah, okay. Billy Papke. Yeah, my 7-year-old granddaughter know more about technology than me. My 3-year-old granddaughter already tapped me on phones and stuff. Yeah, these kids nowadays are amazing, man. Crazy. Billy Papke was known as the Illinois Thunderbolt. And he's a former middleweight world boxing champion. And he held the title from September 7th to November 26, 1936. He also held the Australian and British versions of the World Middleweight Championship, but most American boxing historians and boxtorians generally take less note of those titles, okay? Now, with a solid and efficient punch, nearly 80% of his wins were from knockouts. 80%, not bad, like I was saying. Papke was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2001. In the Hall of Fame. Nat Fleischer from Ring Magazine, the founder, he ranked Papke as the 7th best middleweight of all time. From Spring Valley, Illinois, won 39 fights, lost 17, had 7 draws, 31 by knockout. Told you 80%. Almost 80%, yeah. Get up around 80%, that is a very good knockout rate to me, yeah. Boxers from Illinois. Boxers from Illinois. Gotta keep track of the time because we're gonna get that link in there. Okay. Yeah, my 7-year-old granddaughter. Yeah. Okay. Who's next? I think it's Samuel Berger. Yeah. Okay, might have got off track. Yeah. That is Samuel on the left. Samuel is the clear one. Okay. I'll take a D on that one. Let's talk fashion. Samuel Berger won the first Olympic gold medal in heavyweight history in St. Louis in 1904. Yep, that was the first Olympics after the ones way back in Greece, like 688 BC or something, 1904. And this guy, Samuel Berger, won the first heavyweight gold medal in that Olympic. Okay. He competed as a professional and acted as a promoter and manager for heavyweight champion Jim Jeffries in the first 2 decades of the 20th century. Yep. He's from Chicago, Illinois. Okay. And his name is, what was his name? Samuel Berger. Now, bear with me for 1 minute. I gotta make a switch here. This phone wasn't charged. Man, gotta switch to the other. Oh boy. See, if my 7-year-old granddaughter was here, none of this would be happening. She would have the phones charged and everything. It's only gonna take me a minute to switch. Okay. Here we go. Okay, next is Ken Oberlin. Ken Oberlin. There's Ken Oberlin. Okay. Let's talk about Ken Oberlin. Come on. Damn. This one only got 31. One going dead, one got, I don't know what I was doing. But 31 will make it through like 45 more minutes. Then we got The Voice taking over these YouTube streets. Just do boxing. He always got something good for us, you know. But Ken Oberlin, here we go. Now Ken, man, he was a middleweight boxer, right? And he fought professionally from 1931 to 1944. He had a 13-year career. And he ended up with 131 wins and 18 losses, 9 draws. It's safe to say he wasn't a knockout guy because out of the 131 wins, he had 23 knockouts. Yeah, he wasn't a knockout puncher because that knockout rate, wow, it's like 17%. He knocked out like maybe a little over one guy in every 10 that he fought. Okay, but he had 131 wins. And he took the World Middleweight Championship as it was recognized by the New York State Athletic Commission at that time in a win against Seferino Garcia in New York on May 23rd, 1940. Seferino was pretty good. Yeah, we had the New York State Athletic Commission and the NBA, which became the WBA at that time. He won it in 1940. And he held it until May 1941, right? And he was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame as part of the 2015 class, Ken Oberlin, from Decatur, Illinois. Yep, boxers from Illinois. Sammy Mandel. Okay, there's Sammy. Let's try something real quick. I'm experiment. How's everybody doing? It's Thursday. We're pulled up on another weekend. We got a few fights coming up this weekend. Okay, that's Sammy Mandel. In fact, you got one coming from Mexico, and then I think it's Carson, California. Diego Pacheco is back in there this weekend. Yep. Diego haven't fought in a minute, I don't think. I'm not really sold on Diego yet. I don't know. I just got to see a little bit more. Okay. Now, Sammy Mandel, he was a lightweight, right? And he was a champion from 1926 to 1930. He's from Rockford, Illinois, right? And his real name was Salvatore Mandala, but he changed it to Sammy Mandel, right? Dad said he had Rudolph Valentino good looks, okay? And he had good fast feet, fast hands. And his father was Albanian, his mother was Italian, okay? And the statistical boxing website BoxRank ranked Mandel as the 13th greatest lightweight boxer to have ever lived. And he went into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1998. So Chicago has some pretty good fighters come out of there. He had a total of 191 fights. He fought in that era, but he fought like that 200 fights was the norm. He won 147, lost 25, had 17 draws. Not a knockout puncher. After 147 fights, he only had 32 knockouts. Sammy Mandel. Kenneth Gould. G-O-U-L-D. Gould. Kenneth, there's Kenneth. Yeah. Boxers from Chicago. Next is Kenneth Gould. Here he is. Up on the screen. And let's talk about it. Kenneth briefly. Okay. Now, Kenneth was from Rockford, Illinois. Boxers from Illinois, right? Rockford, Illinois. And he won the welterweight bronze medal at the 1988 Summer Olympics. Okay. And he won the world title at the 1986 World Amateur Boxing Olympics in Reno, Nevada, followed by a silver medal at the 1987 Pan American Games. Very decorated amateur. Okay. Very decorated amateur. Couldn't find a professional record on it, but he was a very decorated amateur boxer. Kenneth Gould. Frank Childs. There's Frank Childs. There's Frankie. Boxers from Chicago. You know, at the end of it each week. Next week is Indiana, by the way. I was looking at that. Indiana had a pretty good boxing history, too. Not a state you think of when you think of boxing, but yeah, Indiana's going to be a pretty good one. Chicago and Florida has probably been like the best two so far. But Frankie Childs, okay? We're winding down. Put the link in about 10 minutes. Now, Frankie Childs, okay, he was from Waukegan, Illinois. Okay, called himself the Crafty Texan from Waukegan, Illinois, the Crafty Texan. Now, he was an African-American boxer, right? And he fought out of Chicago from 1892. Oh, wait a minute, that's not him. Sorry about that. Man, I had the backwards. That's him there, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was him. I'm sorry. He fought, he fought from 1892 to 1911. And he twice held the World Colored Heavyweight Championship. He always fought between 160 and 185. Okay, that's how he did back then. Remember Rocky Marciano in the 50s was heavyweight, undefeated heavyweight, never lost. He never fought over 185. Didn't have a cruiserweight division. Now, Frankie was short and stocky, and he fought middleweights, light heavyweights, and heavyweights, right? And he had a very powerful punch. Okay? And he had 57 total fights in his career. He won 40, lost 9, and had 8 draws. Frankie Childs. Okay, then we go. That was Charlie White that I thought was him. There's Charlie. Okay, Charlie White. Boxers from Illinois. Okay. Nico Aliwas is from Illinois too. Yeah, he sure is. Charlie White. Don't Miss Tomorrow. The Life and Career of Hector Macho Camacho. Okay. He got 30, that's still on 22. Okay. But Charlie White, he was born Charles Ankowitz. Okay. Now, he was considered one of the best boxers of his era. He fought from 1906 until 1923. And he made one ill-fated comeback attempt in 1920, but he was knocked out by Henry Perlet. Okay. And Henry Perlet would not have stood a chance against White in his prime. Made that ill-fated comeback, And he had a total of 172 fights. He won 123 of them. Lost 35, had 13 draws, 57 knockouts. Not too bad. Okay, let's rewind it down. We're going to get this link in here. Jimmy Berry. Just some boxers from Illinois, that's all. Jimmy Berry. Jimmy. We're going to roll on for like 5 more minutes, then we're going to put the link in. Put the link in at 1:30, 2:30, 3:30. I'll stop when somebody hits it. And then we'll chop it up for the rest of the show. Always try to get like 30 minutes of link time, The legendary Thomas Hill's still in here. He'll come up. You still in here, legendary Thomas Hill? Let me know. I'm trying to get Jimmy Berry to show up. I had most of these things written out, but I'm playing it by ear now. Ran out of time. Not you, Charlie White. We did you. There's Jimmy. Jimmy Berry. Now, Jimmy was from Chicago, Illinois. Boxers from Chicago. From Chicago, Illinois. Jimmy Berry. Okay? And he held the World Bantamweight Championship from 1894 to 1899. 5 years, okay? Commonly referred to as the Little Tiger. He retired undefeated with a record of 59-0 with 10 draws, okay? And that was the most wins of any undefeated world boxing champion to this day. Jimmy Berry holds that record, not Floyd. He was inducted into the Ring Magazine Hall of Fame in 2000. You heard that? The record for any undefeated boxing champion held by Jimmy Berry from Chicago, 59-0. But he had 10 draws, but he had no losses. Okay? There he is. Jimmy Berry. Had the record. Okay? I'm going to drop the link in. Okay? And then we'll keep rolling. Somebody hit the link. But boxers from Chicago. Oh, I got the wrong. Oh, that's the right one. Hope everybody enjoyed the show today. A couple people come on and hit the link, so I just sit back and chill and moderate and listen. I'm going to sleep after this. I've been up all night. Okay. Yeah, here we go. How's everybody's day going? We're right up on another weekend. We got Diego Pacheco and a card out of Mexico this weekend. Okay. And then Tuesday, we got the Monster, D.A. Monster, the Monster. Okay. Big Watch Barroso on the card against Andy Hiriaka. Pretty good puncher. So that one could be a stoppage. Big Watch and Andy Hiriaka. Big Watch got a 92% knockout rate. Hiriaka got nearly 90, up in the 80s. So yeah, the recipe for a stoppage. And it's this weekend. 2 days from now. No. That's Tuesday, the 3rd. It's in Japan. You know how the Monster does it. The Monster fights in Tokyo on Tuesday. That's their big day over there in Japan. Yep. Make sure I got everything lined up right. Yeah, everything's lined up right. T Hill put in that wrong bad link, Cass. There we go. All right. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's in. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Nico Ali Walsh is from Chicago too. Yeah. Got Muhammad Ali's grandson. Let's see where Nico's from. Oh, time for him to get back in there, isn't it? Nico Ali Walsh, I think. Yeah. Next week is Indiana, by the way. Tomorrow is the life and career of Hector Macho Camacho. Got murdered. I think they got I don't know if they got some of the guys that did it. Yeah. Yeah, Nico's from Chicago, Illinois. Okay. Grandson of Muhammad Ali. Came into the ring for his debut, August 2021, wearing his grandfather's personal white Everlast shorts. Remember that? Which were passed down to him in 2016 with the death of his grandfather. So they had to do some tailors and stuff. Ali was a heavyweight. In a way, Nico was getting into them shorts then. But he had the very shorts on that Ali wore. For his debut fight, I remember that. Yeah. Which he won. I think Nico got just one loss now, right? Yeah. Appreciate you, Heather E. Hope you enjoyed the show. We do boxing history over here. We need 8 more to get to 30. 8 more likes will get us 30. Oliver McCall is also from Illinois. Remember Oliver, the one that cried after the second fight? And the fight wasn't even over. He beat Lennox Lewis the first time, remember? And then all of a sudden, he was fighting the second fight and just burst out crying. Nobody knows what happened. Yeah, but he burst out crying right in the ring. I can't find Oliver. Oh, there's Oliver. Now, how did Nico get in front of Oliver? It is Oliver right there. Yeah, that fight with Lennox. He knocked Lennox out the first fight, remember? And then he just burst out crying and stopped fighting and burst. I think it was the 5th round. He burst out crying. Yeah, Oliver McCall. I should have had the crying picture up here for you. But he competed from 1985 to 2019. Oliver had a 34-year career, longevity, right? And a veteran of the sport for over 3 decades. He's best known for winning the WBC heavyweight title in 1994 by upset stoppage victory over Lennox Lewis. Then the next year, he defended the title against Larry Holmes successfully before losing it to Frank Bruno. And he's most known for an in-ring mental breakdown during his 1997 rematch with Lennox Lewis. His son Elijah is also a heavyweight professional boxer. And Oliver is known for never being knocked down in his 74 professional fights. And he possessed one of the most durable chins of his time. Now he might have got knocked down if he wouldn't have started crying and quit in that second fight against Lennox. Okay, yeah, Oliver just stopped fighting and broke down. Like, what in the world? I ain't never seen nothing like that before in my life, man. Never. Kelsey Banks is from Chicago. There's Kelsey. Kelsey Banks. Yep, he's a Chicagoan. Yeah, that's it, Chicagoan. Yeah. Or Illinoisian, I don't know. I know Chicagoan is right, but there's Kelsey Banks. We're winding down. About 20 more minutes. Just Do Boxing going to come in here and take over these airwaves. Then at 8 o'clock, we got BVO Boxing TV. Is it this the night where Remo going to be on there? I think it's tonight. Yeah, so check that out. That's going to be good. Remo and BVO Boxing TV. That should be interesting. I'm going to be in there. Yeah. Don't forget the raffle, too. You know, I'm going to work on putting it in as soon as I get off of here. But first prize is an Apple 10th generation iPad. Second prize is not second prize. We got second of the first place prizes is a pair of Kaneki Bear headsets, and then the third prize is an air fryer, right? $10 to the JBT Network, $ JBT Network 1, all caps, $10, or if you want 3 chances, send $25. Okay, and I'm telling y'all, Michael Garner got like 20 chances so far, so y'all better get into it. He got 3 more today. He sent another $25. Okay, so Michael Garner is planning on winning one of those prizes. I'm gonna have to buy me a pair of them headphones up. Fire, man. And Kaneki Bear is a proud sponsor of the JBT Network. Okay, so get your ticket. You gotta play to win. You know, if you don't send that $10 or $25, you ain't gonna win. And all of those prizes are way more than $10. You know. And the winner of the 55-inch color TV for our first raffle is watching it right now. You know, I don't know if he's watching it right now, but he's got it. You know, he has it, and he is enjoying it. So somebody's going to be enjoying those headphones, the Apple 10th generation iPad, and the third prize, which was the air fryer. We need a new air fryer too. Yep. That's Kelsey Banks right there. He's a Chicago boxer. D. Hill must have left out. I know last time he hit it like 2 minutes to 4. Now Kelsey Banks, he's from Chicago, Illinois. Okay. As an amateur, he won the gold medal at the 1986 World Championships in Reno, Nevada, and at the 1987 Pan American Games in Indianapolis, right? Inducted into the USA Boxing Hall of Fame in 1993. He represented his native country at the 1988 Summer Olympics. He's from Chicago. I mean, he's from Chicago, but I don't know what they. He was born in Chicago. So what is this native country nonsense? Oh, he represented the United States. That's his native country. Duh, yes. In Seoul, South Korea, where he got knocked out in the first round, surprisingly, by the Netherlands, Virgilio Tuor. Now, Kelsey had a total of 30 professional fights. He won 22, lost 6. He had 2 draws. Kelsey Banks. Yep. He had 2 draws. Kelsey did. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, Kelsey Banks, boxer from Chicago. Everybody catch that show we had yesterday, Floyd against the Legends? I had Floyd losing like 9 of them. Okay. I had Roberto Duran over. I picked Roberto Duran over Floyd. Henry Armstrong. I think Salvador Sanchez, Wilfred Benitez, Sugar Ray Leonard. Then I had Thomas Hearns stopping Floyd. I had Aaron Pryor stopping Floyd. Sugar Ray Robinson stopping him. Yeah. But, that's not necessarily what would happen. That's just the way I thought it would be. I just couldn't see what Floyd would do against Thomas Hearns because, Thomas Hearns was a 6'1" welterweight. He never fought at welterweight without having a substantial height and reach advantage over everybody, and he had that jab, man, where it was hard to get in close on Tommy, He had that beautiful jab, and he executed like the up jab, very well. He was known for that. And then that right hand. He might have the most powerful right hand of anybody outside the heavyweight division. Might have been the Hitman. He used to be a light hitting boxer, remember? And Emmanuel Stewart would give him the technique or whatever to make him the Hitman. Thomas the Hitman Hearns, yeah. He was thank you, Ant got the link in there. He was Thomas the Hitman Hearns, the Motor City Cobra. That's a great talent. I had him beating Floyd. Sugar Ray, I think he would probably be the fastest fighter that Floyd ever fought. Oh, I had Sweet Pea beating Floyd too. Now, you know how fighters like Madonna would come in there and try to rough it up and make it an ugly fight against Floyd. Now, Floyd might have had to play that role against Pernell Whitaker. The roles might have been reversed. Floyd might have had to go in there against Sweet Pea and make it an ugly fight, And him and Sweet Pea sparred a lot. And D. Free told me yesterday that Sweet Pea actually trained Floyd for a bit. I did not know that. Yeah. So yeah, I had Sweet Pea outpointing him. And some of the guys he beat, some of the legends, was like Julio Cesar Sharp. I had Floyd beating Julio Cesar Sharp-Ass. Very similar. A Floyd Sharp-Ass fight would probably be very similar to Floyd and very similar to Pernell Whitaker and Sharp-Ass. Yeah. Few others. Willie Pep. I gave that one to Floyd. Probably would have been. Willie was smallish because Willie was just a natural featherweight, 126. He didn't start fighting up above featherweight till very late in his career. Most of his career right there at featherweight. So yeah, I had Willie in that one. I mean, no, Floyd in that one. But it's Ant. I think. Yeah, what's up, Ant? Yeah.
Same old same.
Yeah, that's all. What's going on with you today? Let me see. Oh, I can't hear you, Ant.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear. You're booming.
There we go. All right, let me turn that down a tad bit.
Okay.
I have to change my setting real quick.
Okay. Yeah, you're great now.
It's always difficult to say with these damn hypothetical matchups because
I know. Just a very
what iteration of my thing is what iteration of each respective fighter
that is a good point.
Will be placing in these matchups, in these hypothetical matchups.
Main point right there, and yep. At what point would each of them be fighting each other? Yeah, that is very good. Very good point.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you see the show yesterday? I think you was in here, weren't you?
Yeah, I was in here.
What would you think?
With the
You got
Floyd
any kind of
Mayweather.
thoughts on any of the matchups? Some of the legends against him?
I think a lot of them are toss-ups.
Yeah.
I think it's that close.
Yeah.
I think it's that close.
Yeah. Yeah, Floyd would definitely be in any fight against anybody, you know. The skills he had and everything.
And vice versa. And
right.
That's why the question for me is, what version of these guys are we seeing?
That would be the main thing. Yeah.
What version of these guys are we seeing? And then also, here's the other thing. Those other guys, at some point, we've seen them lose fights. Like Roberto Duran, for example.
That's right.
Many argue that he's the greatest lightweight to ever lace him up.
Mm-hmm.
But while in his prime, he lost to Esteban de Jesus.
That's right. He sure did.
That was his first loss.
Right in his prime. Yeah.
In his prime. Well, what people consider to be his prime.
Yeah. That was
135.
70s. What was it? 70s, right? Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it was like 72, maybe?
Right, 72.
Either 72 or 75. Because I just read about it the other day.
Somewhere right around in there. Yeah, early to middle. Yeah. So that's a good point. We've seen him lose in his prime to Esteban. So, yeah.
But it was also reported that he had taken this guy lightly. And, you know, Roberto Duran, he had a propensity for partying and BSing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he did. Like he did the second Sugar Ray fight, you know. He had just exploded. They say he was almost like 200 pounds. And they was fighting at 147. Yeah. He had to come down to 147 for the fight. And they said that's why Sugar Ray wanted to get the rematch immediately right away, because he heard about what Duran was doing and how he had exploded up in weight, you know. He wanted them have to shed all that weight real fast. You know. Yeah. What's happening, Thomas Hill?
Man, you know you got the best, and I'm just sitting here listening to you two cook.
Okay. What did you think about the dream fights yesterday? You was here yesterday, but you said your phone went hit on you or something, didn't it?
Yeah, it bounced me out. I just got bounced out of somewhere else. So, you know, I don't know. It's my service be acting up the times, man. But
okay.
You know, I like I said, I like the segment so much that I think that you might want to consider making Wednesdays your dream matchup segment, where you feature or highlight a boxer and then, you know, place them in.
Okay. It's like I did Floyd, just put somebody else in place of
it. Yeah, just if that's an open-ended day, then that would be because, you know, it's always nice in any sport to talk about how matchups would have fared and played out. And, you know, like you said, it depends on when, because for instance, the fight between Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather and Shane Mosley looks different at lightweight than it did when they did fight. So, you know, it's always up to debate, and, you know, a lot of things that factor into it too. Yeah. Because as you just said, it depends on what version of the fighter you're getting. Because you stated the Ali before the situation with him going to jail and having his time taken away from him. It's much different from the one that had to spend that time away from the ring. And what you lose in your timing, your training, with your execution, with your stamina, with your conditioning, you know, just with your overall generalship, you lose it because you're not actually instituting it. And I'm not sure he was.
You know, you age some too. You know.
Yeah, you age some too, and you know. Yeah. So it's a lot of things that factor in. So I would love that segment because, you know, I remember back in the days, man, it was a long time ago because I was a child, man. It was the football. They would do like phantom teams, like this year's team versus this year's team. Okay. And they did that in a segment while they were going through either the playoffs or something like that, but they were playing games, simulating and seeing how it was. And I forgot who ended up winning it all. I think it was the Pittsburgh team that won it all or something like that. But, you know, it was great anticipation, man, you know, just to see who would play the next week and how it would simulate out and things like that. And all we can do is simulate or put our simulation into how you see the fight and how it would play out. Because, you know, Floyd is a great talent. And, you know, he is a lot of times he's discounted because he is hated, but the man could box his tail off. And on top of that, you know, he hit hard enough where you just couldn't run up on him and through him.
That's true.
There were people who tried, and, you know, for the most part, they came up short. Some had a
defense, you know.
Yeah, the defense is definite too.
Conditioning, yeah.
See, the thing is that, you know, these fights could have been trilogies. Could have been 4 fights because you could see this person beating him, but you, like I said, Floyd is good enough that he can beat anybody as well too. Like people can beat him, no doubt about it, because there were some people who came close. But he could beat people too.
Yeah.
And, you know, we don't know how the fights will play out. We don't know how the nutrition then affected fighters as opposed to the nutrition now. The training and the science available to them in training then as opposed to now. And then, you know, there is always the fact that this man is supremely conditioned. Yes. That right there, more so than anything, gives him an edge in most fights he gets into. Because when you're getting tired, he's not.
Yeah. That's what D. Free was saying. We were saying, but against them guys from them back in them days, that conditioning probably wouldn't be that big of a factor because they stayed ready, man. You know, because they was always fighting.
Yo, shout out my brother D. Free. You right about that, Kaz. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Stuff, man, you know. So
shout out to my brother.
It wouldn't be as big of a factor in different eras as it was in the era he fought in. You know, I don't think. You understand what I'm saying?
No. Yeah, I understand you totally. And clear.
Yeah.
And hey, many of those guys came up in the 15-round era as well, Kaz. So
facts.
Those guys were accustomed to, you know, going 15 rounds.
That's right.
So,
yep.
And then, you know, there are some that went into like more than that rounds. Like they had more rounds than that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And you know, those were some grueling matches because hell, the round didn't end until somebody got knocked down.
What do they call it? I don't know why I can't think of it. You said it before, and what they call it back then? The no decision era. No decision. Where they just went until somebody got knocked down or couldn't continue. Yeah, that's right, T. Hill. That's a good point.
I mean, you discussed it yesterday. You said that one match took 3 days to finish.
Yeah, because
some people went to jail off of that.
You say a certain amount of rounds, but you don't know how long the round was.
Yeah, you don't know because they're fighting
45 minutes.
Yeah, you know? and they're fighting until somebody actually falls.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough, man. You know that's a lot of conditioning, man. Because you hit that bag enough, you get tired.
But you know the thing is, they knew they had to be. They knew what the deal was, so they knew they had to be in that type of condition. You know, to fight at that time. You know. That's that's an absolute affirmation right there, and you know that's why fatigue makes cowards of men, or as I forgot how Jay said it. Yeah,
Jay said it. He said it bluntly, like, yo, you in there and you ain't in shape. You getting your tail beat more times than not because you ain't got nothing in your tank. Yep. And not having anything in your tank makes you apt to not do things more precise and more accurate. It makes you sometimes forget to block when you should block. You know, the opening is there for a punch and you don't throw it because you can't muster the energy.
That's right.
or you're afraid that if you do it, you might get tagged or countered. So it's all kinds of things. But I mean, I agree that it's hard to determine doing out the greats in the year that they fought with the greats in another year, but it's always fun to talk. It's always fun because we don't usually get the sample size within the thing. I mean, case in point, when Kobe came into the league as a rookie, he was a kid. He went against Michael Jordan, did some spectacular things, but clearly you could see Jordan was definitely not his peer. And then you get into the Washington stages where Jordan is on his way out, and Kobe's playing him, and he's putting up double nickel on him. Yeah. Clearly, Jordan's not his peer at that time.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to say, well, prime versus prime. How would this look? It always gets people intrigued, and it always gets people, and it generates, man. So many people that came into the chat yesterday loved your content, loved it, absolutely bought into it, was taken by it, was listening to it as well. They should, man, because it was something that piques your curiosity and your interest. And shout out my guy Al Booger. He said it's a great idea. Weekly dream matchups. That's always fun. So
yeah, that is a good idea. It's a lot of work though, but
it is a lot of work, man. But we appreciate that work you put in.
It'll be worth it, yeah. Just different weight classes, yeah.
And remember that there are fighters that scale various weight classes too. So you got to get the fighter at their best weight class.
That's right. Yeah.
But it would be interesting.
Like, Henry Armstrong would be like a dream match against fighters in like about 3 different weight classes.
Yeah, because he dominated 3 different weight classes.
And he was champion in all of them.
Yeah, he dominated 3 weight classes.
Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, he excelled in all of them. So yeah, you could put him at 3 weight classes because he was making competition look like they were easy. And then you got to look at it from that time scale too, how difficult it was to go up to the next weight class. We talking about scaling 15 pounds.
Yeah, because they didn't have the juniors and the supers and all that, right? So you had to go a long ways, man. And then
you had to go a long way to fight. Yeah.
But he was going up and down, so he had to also drop that weight back off to go down to defend his titles too,
Yeah, and one time, the last time I think me and Ant was doing a casual corner breakdown, we did that watching one particular fight from Mexico and how this man was traversing divisions, going up in weight, down in weight, and looking at his productivity. Like the man was taking fights. One time he fought twice in a week, right? Was it 3 times in a week?
Damn.
I forgot, Ant. What was it?
Yeah, that guy was going crazy, and he fought as high as 140. He actually started at 135.
Yeah.
Somewhere in his career, he dropped down to flyweight. I don't even know how you go from lightweight to flyweight.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And he got knocked out a lot of times. He got knocked out probably. He had about 36 losses. 34 of them came by knockout. And a lot of it you could see was likely attributed to the weight.
Yeah,
fluctuated, going up, going down, going down, going up, and it was just crazy. Likely still concussed going into fights.
Yeah,
because as T. Hill pointed out, there was one year where he fought, I want to say 3 times in September, got knocked out all 3 times. Damn. It was like 2018, something like that. Yeah, we were looking at this guy's resume on BoxRec. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but that is an interesting subject. Yeah. I'll probably
and the one last thing I'd like to say about the fantasy matchups is this. We look at the skill sets, but what we don't take into account is the era and everything that these guys had at their disposal.
Yeah.
As far as research is concerned.
Yeah, that's a very good point right there.
My favorite fighter is James Toney. He always talks about how he got a lot of his style because his trainer, Bill Miller, had him watching film of Archie Moore and Sugar Ray Robinson, people like that. So with that being said, each fighter, the ones who are studious at least, they have traces of other fighters in their style, so they're more developed, a little bit more dimensional to some degree. And I think that's the thing for me that makes Floyd Mayweather versus a lot of these guys very interesting, because he had the opportunity to watch all of these guys, to learn from 3 professionals, 2 of the 3 being champions. His Uncle Jeff and his Uncle Roger both were champions. And then Floyd Sr. is a hell of a trainer. Oscar De La Hoya is on record saying that Floyd Sr. was the best trainer that he's had, and he had 7 of them.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one there too. Yeah, good point.
Hall of Fame guys too, that he's been under the tutelage of. So if you're a guy like Floyd Mayweather, where you're not only around guys who are good professionals, champions, but also historians in their own right. Yeah. Roger Mayweather is the one who coined the term, "You don't know ish about boxing."
Yeah, and they family members, which he was around all the time, you know.
Right. And then being able to spar with various people.
Yeah.
His amateur experience, going to the Olympics.
Yeah, all
getting
that.
a medal.
Getting robbed of one too.
Being able to watch and observe, you know, the who's of boxing, not only in his era, but also in eras prior. So to some degree, kind of get some of that by osmosis. The same way like T. Hill mentioned Kobe and Michael Jordan. Well, guess what? Michael Jordan got a lot of his game from David Thompson. That was his favorite player. And in turn, Kobe is studying Michael Jordan. But through studying Michael Jordan, he's also picking up some of David Thompson, even if it's inadvertent.
Yeah. That's
he's getting it by osmosis. And that's what I'm saying about a guy like Floyd, who is many people consider to be a savant, just a very savvy guy. That he just saw so much boxing and been under the tutelage of great minds in boxing that it just makes things interesting, no matter where you place him in history. Because you got some guys that were fantastic for their time. Like you go back and you look at the 1900s, and a guy like Battling Siki, he was great for his time.
Yeah.
But if you fast forward maybe even 40 years or so, and then you put him in there with a guy like Archie Moore, how does he fare? Probably not as well. Because his style wouldn't have been as developed.
Yeah. That's an excellent point. That's an excellent. Matter of fact, like you said, just the background, the makeup of Floyd and who he's been around and who he's had disposal to, and their knowledge, their wealth of knowledge. And like you said, some of the people who was influential in his career, like you said with the analogy of the basketball, him being in that ring with Sweet Pea, totally invaluable. Yeah. Totally invaluable, because we're talking about somebody that's expert defensively and offensively, and his footwork is phenomenal on both ends. You got to pick something up from that.
No doubt.
So, and as always, spot on, player.
Yeah.
And think about this, T. Hill. The experience he got with Sweet Pea. Remember, Sweet Pea was a part of that Olympic team, 1984, and they had fantastic talent on that team. So
you're absolutely right.
By being in the ring with Sweet Pea, he learned a little bit from Evander Holyfield, a little bit from Mark Breland, a little bit from Meldrick Taylor. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
man,
I didn't think
amazing. And you know, Breland knows his stuff because, like, I mean, since Wilder has not been with Breland, Wilder has not looked the same.
Well, I mean, just look at Mark Breland's amateur career. He's one of the most decorated amateurs.
Yes, right.
Of his time. So,
yes, he was.
I mean, that speaks for itself. Dude was a gold medalist.
Yeah.
They say he only lost one amateur fight.
Damn.
Just one.
Yeah, outstanding.
I just looked it up right now. He's 110-1 as an amateur.
Wow. That's unheard of.
That's crazy.
Everybody losing the amateurs.
You know what I'm saying?
Because scoring system is, yeah. Yeah.
110-1 is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
He had a lot of fights.
Ridiculous.
It wasn't because he wasn't fighting, you know.
Right.
Hey.
And what makes it even more remarkable is the fact that in the amateurs, it's not like you get to pick and choose. You got to go to trials and whoever they line you up with, that's what you're fighting.
Different styles and everything.
Yeah. Man. Different areas.
That is very impressive. Yeah. Yep.
That's wild.
Yeah. Fighting often. You know. That is very impressive. 110-1.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we gotta I guess we got to cut it off. It's about 10 after 4.
Yeah, because we can stay up here talking a lot, especially with Anthony up here.
Go till like 5 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. I guess it's time to mosey on over to gather around and listen to the voice.
Yep.
I'm already over there on another tab. So
okay. But I appreciate y'all. I'm coming on over too now.
All righty, Dan.
And T Hill.
All right, gents.
Okay. Casual tomorrow morning, right? Yep. It's Friday already. Damn. Okay. So that was Aunt McQueen Thomas Hill coming up, helping me finish the show off today. Tomorrow is the life and career of Hector Macho Camacho. I appreciate everybody for stopping by today. Life's looking good. And we'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. I haven't done this in a few days. Okay. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT, Ray Patterson, Bellamy Queen 27. Cannabis, Education, Entertainment TV, Let's Talk Fashion, Humphrey Finest, Heather E, Joe, D1, Al Booger, Mike Mazik, Miss Cass, and Aunt McQueen and Thomas Hill. We're coming up on the panel, helping me close it down today. This is Fire Boxing Talk. And I'll be back tomorrow because if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian bringing you all that boxing history. Just Do Boxing, already in progress. This is Cass Sports. Everybody have a great day.